Alright, so to get us started, we're going to loosen up a little bit. So can I get everybody just stand up for a minute? And spread out a bit. Spread out so you got enough room to do about this. Oh, that much room. That's what you want. Just get going. So we're going to start with a quick warm-up. This is just called eights. This is just keep you get your energy going. So make sure you got some leg room as well. So the idea is what we're going to do is you're going to put your right hand in the air. And you're going to shake it out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to go with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You go with the right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 7, 7, 7, 6. Until we get all the way down to 1. Everybody got this? Yeah. All right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. I'm going to hit you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, guys. Keep standing. We're not playing. Alright, so I'm going to get a little bit more uncomfortable. I want you to find somebody who's not on your team, who maybe you haven't met yet. I want you to introduce yourself to them and shake their hands. So just say, hi, my name is... Alright, cool. Just one person. Just one person. That's all you need. Alright, now, with that same person, I want you to shake their hand again. Shake their hand again. Look them in the eye and say, I love you. Cool, nice. Alright, so that probably felt a little awkward, right? Cool. Alright, so we're going to do a lot of getting awkward today. This is all what Lean Startup Machine about, is getting outside of your comfort zone and getting really awkward, right? So my name is Todd Charron, I'm an agile coach, and I'm also an improviser. So I'm going to let you guys in a secret, and while I got you standing, I'll have you do one more thing. So, the secret of improv, there's an improviser's mantra that they often tell you in improv classes, and that is, I suck and I love to fail. Right? So I want you guys to say that with me. So say, I suck and I love to fail. Great, you guys are halfway there. This is awesome. All right, you can have a seat, you can have a seat. And give yourselves a round of applause. Who's ready to make yourself a little bit? Cool, so this is something you want to keep in mind the whole weekend, right? You don't know what you don't even know yet, right? And you're going to go out there and you're going to pitch stuff to customers and you're going to be wrong, and it's okay. The idea is just to fail as frequently and as fast as possible throughout this weekend. So, a lot of you guys came here to the Lean Startup Machine, you had ideas, you had something you want to pitch, you pitched your idea, maybe that went well, maybe your idea got picked and you're all cool and you got yourself, you're ready to change the world with your new invention, that might be it, or maybe that might be your invention, might not be as successful as you think. But whatever it is, you think you're going to change the world. So, a lot of people, and some people have already asked me this from teams, they'll come up to a mentor and they'll say, what do you think of my idea? And here's the truth, at least in the context of this weekend. The honey badger don't care, right? And it's not to be cruel. I mean, a lot of the ideas I hear are really cool ideas, but it doesn't matter what I think as a mentor, right? That's not the purpose of this weekend. It matters what your customers think, but even that, only to a little bit of a level. The whole point of Lean Startup Machine is that this is an experiment, right? You're going out and you're running a bunch of experiments, you've got a hypothesis, you're testing that hypothesis, but this weekend itself is your chance to experiment with the Lean startup process, right? So the key thing you want to focus on is making sure that you're learning as much as possible. So people who come in with a lot of ideas, and I was at the last Lean Startup Machine, and there's always, those entrepreneurs that come in and they've got that solid idea and they think it's going to be the best idea in the world and they refuse to let go the entire weekend. So to those people, I say, for the purposes of this weekend, put that aside. Monday morning, you can go back, you can forget everything you've done here, do whatever the heck you want, but for the purposes of this weekend, you've got to be willing to let go of whatever it is you're doing. Let's go. So you've got to be willing to let go, not just of of your idea, but of any preconceived notion, and also look to give up as much control as possible this weekend. Because it's tempting, I mean, you've got a team of people, but those people are here to learn as well, right? So if you're here saying, well, you know, I'm going to take charge, this is my idea, this is my thing, okay, Monday morning maybe it is, but for this weekend, let the team own it. Let you guys all own it. And everybody has an equal voice and equal value because they have valid ideas too, and they want to learn as much as they can as well. So that's a key thing to kind of focus on. So one thing you want to do is you want to be explorers, right? And maybe not that kind of explorer. All right, no, that one out of it. All right. We'll be that kind of explorer this weekend. This weekend we'll be that kind of explorer. Because here's the thing, and this is another thing that I learned from improv from a guy named Keith Johnstone, who's one of the co-founders kind of the idea of improv as we know it. And he used to really irritate a lot of theater people, right? Because they would complain when somebody would go to their show and you know the audience wouldn't laugh or they wouldn't like their show. He'd be like, well, they just didn't get it. And he would say, you know what? The audience knows what they want. They know what they find funny and they know what they will laugh at. We're just the ones that are guessing, right? We're taking a guess at what they will find funny. And on some nights, audiences will laugh at things you never even expected them to. Same thing here, right? You guys have an idea of what you think a certain customer segment wants. You're not them. You don't know what their problems or their day-to-day lives are. And that's going to be part of this weekend, is going out and connecting with them and listening to them. Because they have the answers. You just have the guesses, right? And trying to figure that out. So don't be this guy. Don't be the salesman. And this is tough, particularly for a lot of entrepreneurs. Because everybody came here who pitched yesterday was selling. So everybody who came here was selling an idea. I want you to buy into my idea, join my team, sell, sell, sell. Which is cool, because entrepreneurs have to sell at some point. For the purpose of this weekend, that can actually harm you. At the last LSM, my team, we had one member of our team who was really good at sales. He was really, really good at selling, which seems like a good thing. But what would happen was, we'd go out and talk to customers, and we'd come back, and we'd have a hypothesis, and most of us would come and say, well, no, that pretty much was invalidated. And he'd be like, no, totally validated. And it was only when we sat in with him we realized what was going on. Was he was so good at just convincing them that this was what they wanted. But that was the only way he was making sales. Which, you know, is great when you're out there selling your product. That's great to do, but that's not going to scale, right? He's not going to be the person interacting with every customer. So that information gets skewed because of that. So you don't want to be the sales guy, right? And this came up after LSM. I went and I talked to a bunch of friends about it, and one of my friends said, you know, well, that's just a sale, right? You're just selling. This is what salesmen do. This is the whole sales management stuff, right? And it's like, well, no, it's not. It's like, sure. I got salespeople that, you know, go out there, they talk to customers, they tell them anything they want, and the product doesn't exist yet, and you guys are going to have to make it in 6 months. That's what sales does, right? It's not really the same thing. Because a salesperson will go out there, and that salesperson will do whatever it takes to make a sale. They will say whatever it takes to make a sale. They will do whatever it takes to make a sale. They don't care what they sell you. You guys should not be going out there with that approach. You guys should be going out there with the explorer mindset, with the scientist mindset, wanting to learn as much as possible. The more you learn, the better you are doing at this, not the more you sell. Now, you want to get customers not convinced and beaten down so much that they will give you money. You want to get them so excited about your product that they want to hand you money, that they are desperate to give you money. Those are the people that you're looking for. So if you're interviewing customers today, and a customer says something, you find yourself saying, well, yeah, I know, but isn't your problem really that you're doing something wrong, right? If you're trying to convince them that they have the problem, you're going about it the wrong way. You want to be like, okay, so what is bothering you? What would you say is the biggest problem you're having doing whatever it is you're doing? Or how do you deal with that problem now? Ask a lot of open-ended questions for it. So listening is very important. So make sure that when you're having these initial conversations with customers, they're doing a lot more talking than you are. If you're talking more than they are, you're probably selling, and it's a bad sign. I think every one of my presentations has this quote in it. It's my favorite quote of all time. I got it from Mark Sutton and Joe Bill, who are not co-founders, but they're members of the Annoyance Theater in Chicago. And when asked on what listening is, they said, listening is the willingness to change. It's not a requirement that you change. But in order to say that you are listening, you must be willing to change. So think about that when you're going out and you're talking with potential customers. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to give up this idea that you're trying to sell them on, that this experiment that you're running, if it's not proving valuable, are you willing to deviate from that? And think about it not just on a speaking to customers level, but for this weekend on a team level. You know, a lot of teams will get into, heated debates on, well, is this validated, is this not validated? We should approach this customer segment, this customer segment. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to say, you know what, here's a hypothesis. If your hypothesis proves true, I'm willing to give up exactly what I'm talking about and hop on board and be willing to do that. So sometimes you're going to run into a brick wall. You're going to have a hard time with something. So, for example, my LSM team last time, our problem was we couldn't find the customers for one part of our two-sided market that we wanted. And I know some people talked about this a bit yesterday, and you talked about there are ways to find them, It's true, but you got to remember this is a weekend event. You have only so much time. So what happened to us was we got a hold of a couple, but it really wasn't enough to have a large enough sample size to really validate anything. And it wasn't until late in the day on Saturday that we talked to a mentor, and a mentor was like, well, what about the other side of your market? We're like, well, we were going to offer it to them for free. It's like, well, have you asked them if they would pay? And so they're like, well, you know what? We haven't. So why don't we go do that? And we did, and they would. And suddenly it took off from there. But we wasted so much time trying to get a hold of these people who were only available during business hours, Monday through Friday, right? So yes, try and find ways and get creative about trying to get a hold of them, but also think about, well, if this doesn't happen, then what are we going to do? And think about how you can find other ways around the brick wall. So before I let you guys go and you're going to get out of the building and start talking to customers, I got some tips for you. So these are some tips that I learned throughout, ever since Lean Startup Machine and at Lean Startup Machine, that will hopefully help you guys out this weekend. So the first tip, don't forget to validate the problem. So many teams jump right from, we got a customer and this is our solution. And yet they don't know that they actually have that problem. So when they go to talk to a customer, the first thing they want to talk about is the solution. Don't even bother talking about the solution right away. Find out if that actually is their problem. Is this a pain point they have? If it's not, then maybe your solution doesn't even matter yet. And don't just, because you validated it with a couple of people, every time you talk to a customer, make sure that's their problem. What you may find is that a certain segment of the people you're talking to have this problem, and a certain segment don't. And if you forget to check in again with the problem with them, what will happen is your future experiments will be skewed, because some people will invalidate it, some people will validate it, and you won't know why. And because you'll find out it's because only a certain segment of people have that problem. So make sure you are always making sure that that problem is something they are interested in having solved. So number two, this is something that comes from Toyota and Lean, and I'm going to kind of take it out of context a bit just to give you something to kind of frame all the stuff that I'm talking about here today, and that is the idea of Gemba walks. So for the purposes of this, think about it this way. Go to your customers, go to where they are. Don't just email them, don't just call them on the phone, don't just ask them to meet you at a coffee shop. Go to where they are. I know there was one team that was doing restaurants. Go to their restaurants. Go see their environment, see how they live and see how they work. Ask why. Ask open-ended questions. Ask why they do the things they do, why they've taken this approach, and what problem are they trying to solve with it. Show respect. These guys know more than you do about everything they're doing. It's their day-to-day life, it's their business. Be very respectful about that. Be very respectful about the fact that if you're interrupting them and you're taking time away from their lives, from their busy schedule or whatever, show some respect for that. And follow up with them. Whoever you talk to first, once you learn more stuff, go back to them. Make sure they're included in the process. Because a lot of the people you're talking to are going to be the people you want as early adopters. So talk to those people and do stuff. Yeah?
Are they called Gemba walks?
So Gemba means place, basically. So Gemba walks from Toyota, basically the idea is it's a management technique that if you're a manager, you go to the place, you go walk the floor. of the factory. And it's not just management by walking around, because you're not just walking around, you're actually going around, you're asking people about their day-to-day lives with genuine interest and concern, and actually having them open up and talk about what are they struggling with, what are they having with, and being very respectful that they're doing the best they can in the environment, right? And then take that feedback, do something about it, and follow up. It's the same thing you guys do, right? Same thing you do with the customers. So number 3, and here comes a little bit of shameless self-promotion, so I'm warning you in advance. So I have an event called Follow Your Fear Day. So this was an event I started to encourage people to do something that always scared them, something they've always wanted to do but haven't done because they were scared. And the event's actually next week. It's on Friday, June 15th, at Unit 102, which is at Queen and Dufferin. And you can talk to me about getting tickets or whatever more about the event. Some people in this room are actually signed up to be participants in the event. And for the event, myself, I'll be following my fear. So my fear is I'm going to be doing a one-man solo improvised show. It's like about a 40-minute full-length improvised show. And the reason I'm doing that is because it terrifies me, right? It's something that really scares me. And that was something that came out of Lean Startup Machine as well, is I started to find things that were very scary for me. Going up to strangers and asking them questions is very tough. It's very scary. We get very shy and we don't want to do it. Now you're talking with the customer. Asking them for money is very hard and it's very scary. But here's the thing that I believe, and here's the thing that I've learned through doing all this, and that is, do what scares you, because that's where the learning is, right? So if you want to get the most out of this weekend, whatever you find the most awkward and difficult thing to do, that's what you should be doing. I don't care if you're a developer by day, a designer, an entrepreneur, whatever it is you do, here, whatever is most intimidating to you, that's what you've got to do. And that's why, they say get out and talk to like 30 people. Most people don't talk to that many people because they're scared. They'll pick and choose and they'll be like, oh, there went a person, oh, there went another. Well, I'll get the next one, right? And they'll talk to a handful of people. It's scary. Go out there, do it, be as scared as possible, and learn from that, because that's how you'll get the most out of this weekend. Any questions? Cool. All right. Get out of the building, guys.